Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how to increase your win percentage here for Season 7. I'm going to be talking about the best strategies and the best techniques when it comes to going for wins, and just overall some really good tips on how to improve your win percentage. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on my notifications, and leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, make sure you guys have me supported as a creator on the item shop. All you need to do this is go to the item shop, hit X, type in Young Humor. That's all you have to do, and you will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I want to be talking about how to raise your win percentage in Fortnite, and there definitely is a few ways to go about it, and my win percentage for Season 7 currently is at about a 40 win percentage, and I'm dropping Tilted Towers, I'm dropping Retail Row, I'm dropping at these hot areas. So when it comes to raising your win percentage in this game, it doesn't always mean that you have to play really slow, but it is an easier way to get wins, because trust me, it is a lot easier to go wins if you're going places like Junk Junction. I mean, you're camping the edges of the map and not going Tilted Towers. But honestly, just playing outskirts of the map, going Junk Junction, and then playing really slow like it's a scrim is just honestly very boring and something that I don't enjoy playing the game like. So for me, I like playing Tilted Towers, and I found a way to, go to these hot drop areas and then pop off for a lot of kills while at the same time also getting the win, because it's not very fun to play this game if you're losing every single game. And for most people, I would say the average win percentage overall, I would say in between like a 10 and 20% is normal average. And then overall for anyone who's above like a 27 or a 28 win percentage is, I would say, pretty high for win percentage. Anything above a 30 overall is really insane. Unless you're just making a new account, then of course it's going to be a lot easier. But I think my overall win percentage is like a 28% or something along those lines. And I've had over a 40 win percentage for the past 2 seasons. So getting your win percentage up in Fortnite can be a little bit tricky, but at the same time it's not too difficult. And when you're looking to get a lot of wins or win a lot of games in a row to increase your win percentage, there's a few things that you want to do and a few key things that you want to keep in mind when you're going for these wins so you can consistently win. And I would say one of those things is you definitely want to pick a location that you like to go to. I mean, some of you guys might like Salty Springs, Retail Row, Tilted Towers. For me, it's Tilted Towers. I'm dropping here game after game. I know Tilted Towers in and out. I know where every chest spawn is, where everything is, where the best locations to get, materials at. And so I pretty much know my in and out of Tilted Towers pretty well, I would say. And it really doesn't matter what location that you land at, but I think it's really important if you win a few games, say you're just playing and then you decide to go Tilted Towers, say you normally just don't drop Tilted Towers, say you normally go like Salty Springs, and then the next game you go Tilted Towers and then you get a win from Tilted Towers. I would say the best thing to do after that is just go Tilted Towers, or to keep going places that you constantly win from, because if you go Tilted Towers and then you go to Loot Lake and then you rotate over to Salty, and then that worked for you the game before, I would recommend doing the exact same thing, just because I think that's the best way to get multiple wins in a row, and just to stay consistent in Fortnite. And the most games that I've won in a row is 17, and I went Tilted Towers for all 17 games. And it made me think about it because I was on like a 6 or 7 win streak. I was doing really well, and I was dropping high kills as well. Like I wasn't playing really slow. I was getting like 13, 14, or even I had a game with 18 kills in it on that win streak. And when I was on that win streak, I was even thinking about playing a little bit slower, especially when I got to like 12 or 13 wins in a row, because at that point that was the most times I've ever win. But honestly, I was like, screw it, I'm going Tilted Towers. I just won 13 games in a row going Tilted, so I might as well finish it out. And the reason why we died is because I got one shot by a hunting rifle late in the game. It wasn't because I landed at Tilted Towers. And that's just one thing to keep in mind, is say you lose in a game of Fortnite and you don't die off spawn, I would say the best thing to do is just keep going to that location off spawn, because if say you go Tilted Towers, you're playing really well and then eventually you die at the end. So if you think about it, going Tilted Towers wasn't the reason that you lost the game, so there's no point of just trying to change it up for any reason, because if you change it up, you go Retail Row a few times, it's honestly not a bad idea. But I really think the best way to win is to stay consistent and do the exact same things that's working for you. Because if certain things are working for you, maybe going Tilted Towers, maybe a new loadout that you're using is working even better for you, I would constantly keep going with that loadout if it's winning you games. And when it actually comes through going throughout the game, I would always try to recommend that you guys try to have enough mats and also enough heals depending on the situation, because of course if you're not that high on heals, and which they did add an update where they increased the amount of minis in the game, So honestly, for me, I've had enough shield for most of the games that I've played, but you definitely have to play according to how many mats you have. So for example, I would say if you have less than 300 materials, which really isn't that much, I would say you really have to use an actual cover, and that could be buildings, it could be structures, or anything that could provide you actual cover without you having to build. Because when you have less than 300 materials, it can be very difficult to constantly be going for high ground and just trying to pick off multiple players with that many mats. So when you have a low mat count, you definitely have to play very fast, and you have to use natural cover to your advantage. So playing the top of buildings is a really good way to reduce the amount of mats you use. And if you're playing in a duo or squads, is second you get a knock, if you have low materials, the second you get a knock, you always want to try to go for that thirst, because the second you thirst them, you have a chance to pick up their materials, and you never know, they could have 600, 700 wood stacked. And I've run into a lot of players, especially in squads, where I'm able to pick them off, and they would drop me like 200-300 or even upwards of 500 or 600 materials just from that one kill alone. So that really changes everything. So as second you get a knock and you know you don't have that many materials left, you always want to try to go for that thirst and then try to pick up their mats from them. And as well, if you're fighting a team, the faster that you can kill the other team, the more materials they're going to drop, because the longer the gunfight goes on, the more materials they're going to be burning through. So after you get the kill on that player, you're going to have less mats, and as well, they're going to drop less mats from their body anyways. So going for quick kills when you're in gunfights is going to allow you to have a lot more mats, and as well as going to allow you to have a lot more heals. Also, another really good tip for closing out games. So when it comes to fighting those few last teams, especially in a solo game, so say you're in a solo game and there's 3 people left, including you, so it's basically you and 2 other players. First, I try to figure out exactly where the players are, and if I know they're separated by a good amount, then maybe I'll go for a challenge. But typically, I would say most times that I do, I sit back and wait for them to fight, and the second they start shooting at each other, that is when I make my push. Because it's even easier to pick out players who are shooting at each other than it is to just fight people individually. So waiting for the last 2 teams to challenge each other is going to be your best bet for closing out games, and it's really going to help you guys get more wins and more consistent wins in that late game. Just waiting for those 2 teams to fight and then to make your move. And even if you get there a little bit late, at least you can know going into that fight that the team that you're fighting is more than likely going to be a little bit weak, because if they just got out of a gunfight, I would say almost 9 times out of 10 every single time that the other team that they were fighting is going to be at least low or at least tagged up a little bit. So when you're going to fight that player, you know more than likely they're not going to have that 200 HP, was going to be a huge advantage for you. So even if you show up a little bit late, it's even better late than never, because if you even go for that challenge even when they're healing, at least you can pick them off where they have less than 200 HP, because once someone has enough time to loot up completely, they get that 200 HP, they pick up that rocket launcher, they have, you know, max minis, they have extra med kits. The second they get stacked like that and they're ready to fight you, then that's when it's going to make it the hardest time to go for the kill on the other player. But if you catch them off guard right after a gunfight, that's going to give you your best chance to go for a kill. And this is what I do a ton of times when it comes to those really good players. So say if I'm in a gunfight and I'm up against a really good player and they're really difficult to kill, and I hear another player or see another player in a distance going, like trying to come up on us, what I would do is I would drop down a little bit and I would box in, or just do anything I can to just try to get the other player to focus on them. Whether that just be shooting at their walls, maybe just shooting at them, really just to do anything to mess them up. And when it comes to going for that third party opportunity, I always try to recommend going for the player that looks better in the gunfight. So if you see 2 people fighting and you see one player is going to be obviously better than the other player, while they're fighting, I would try to get as many tags as you can on the better player, because if you can get the knock on the better player, or maybe you can finish him or even tag him up a lot, it's going to be so much easier, so much easier to go for the kill on the other player right afterwards. So just focusing on the better players is going to save you a ton and allow you to get more kills and just win gunfights more consistently. So whenever you're looking to go for a gunfight or looking to challenge a player, it's going to be so much easier to challenge a player who's not looking at you, or a player that's looking in the other direction, than it is to have a player focused on you. And if you have a player distracted, it could be on another team, it could be on zombies, because there's still zombies in the game as of right now. So whatever the case may be, if they're distracted on anything, maybe they're even picking up loot from the player they killed. And that's also another really good one to pick off, is when they're picking up loot from other players. Going for the challenge on them immediately is going to set you up for a big advantage to win that gunfight. Just getting that initial tags on the player is going to set you up for a huge advantage to win that gunfight and overall win more games. And with that being said, that's a wrap for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. And if you guys could, drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my notifications to be notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.